Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello all, and what is going on and how you doing this Saturday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here for my review of this past week's episode of AEW Dynamite. It was the July 12th, 2023 edition of Dynamite, and it took place in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. We had more of the brotherhood, the buddy-buddiness of MJF and Adam Cole, baby! We had that. We had a semifinals match of the Owen Hart Women's Cup. We had, of course, Cole and MJF did participate in a blind tag team eliminator match. The semifinals, I think it was, against Brian Cage and Big Bill. We also had another one with involving Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia. I still think it's so goofy when he does that. Versus Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. And of course, we also had the reveal of the fifth member for next week's Blood and Guts match for the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. The Elite, of course, is one I'm very excited about. The one for the Blackpool Combat Club, I was very surprised, but I do like it. I'm a little confused, though, as to how this ties in with what they're doing with Chris Jericho. But we'll have to wait and see. But overall, again, I loved this episode of Dynamite. Personally, I'm on the fence about which grade to give it, though. Because I'm in between an A- and a B+. Like, I really, really like this episode. I really like the stuff they're doing with MJF and Adam Cole. The storytelling is just awesome, off the charts. I really like the reveal of the fifth members. There was a couple things that were kind of like solid, I would say, rather than good. So that's why I'm kind of like tugging to get back there. But some of the stuff that was really good was really good and awesome. So I'll debate on it. We'll do the review, see what I have to say, and then give my final grade at the end. But let's, of course, talk about Dynamite in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. The show opened up with a good match between Chris Jericho and Kommander. Kommander seems like someone who's just eating pins right now and putting people over. But I definitely think if you wanted to give him a serious, a serious push, he could be a good mid-card guy. A good TNT champion, or, I would say he could be a good international champion. Matches him and Orange Cassidy actually would be pretty good. He did take Chris Jericho, though, to the limit, pretty good. So much so that Jericho had to resort to the Lion Tamer to get him to tap out. Following this, though, out comes Don Callis, who has like a video game, like some type of like death sounding like theme, goes like or something like that, with his face with the scar on it, his bald head. He comes out, of course, getting booed like crazy. Also, by the way, just a little plug for it, I did recently check out the Talk is Jericho interview with Don Callis and Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita. And I like how they treat that interview, kind of like Don Callis can finally explain himself, because his on-screen, because on the actual shows, he can't get a freaking word out because of how much heat he's got. But anyways, he comes out. And he basically just reminds Jericho about the world buzzing and the possibility of Jericho joining the Don Callis family. He then stresses the connection between them and Bad News Allin and says he has a surprise for him. And it was old footage of the three of them together. And of course, Jericho has been very reminiscent, like with this tour of Canada. He's like, I remember that back in 1995, and it's funny because he still has all his hair. And Don, well, Callis says Bad News is smiling in heaven just at the possibility of Jericho joining, but he's not here to put pressure, and he's happy to wait for an answer. Just think about what Bad News Allin would have wanted. So, of course, that storyline's going on. And to me, now, I'll say towards my full thing towards the end, to me, that was me wondering if they're going to try to recruit Chris Jericho to join the Don Callis family. And he would be the fifth member for the BCC at Blood and Guts next week. Which I may, no promises, I may do live reactions for that match. Just maybe, but we'll see. But anyways, he again mentions that. Basically says, reminder, the offer's right here. We also have Jack Perry, whatever he's called now. He rolls up in his car and he's complaining that, this is not a safe workspace and he's here to wrestle inside a ring. And then, of course, Hook jumped into the car and Jungle Boy just runs out of the car and runs off. And Hook, for the first time, actually spoke, I believe, and he goes, keep running, Jack, or something like that. So there's been a lot of cat and mouse ever since Jungle Boy turned heel, but we'll get the match soon. We'll see. And again, we for the FTW title. What at this point, they're just going to wait until, All In or All Out. Which, by the way, there's rumors going around now that apparently they might offer a bundle for both All In and All Out on Bleacher Report. We'll see how that goes. But again, it would really suck to have to pay for 2 pay-per-views 2 weekends in a row. I still don't get the why they're doing both All In and All Out. They should just do just All In, if I'm being totally honest. Because the card is going to be still going to be a little awkward trying to build for it. But again, I think the only thing we know for sure that we're going to get at all we're not going to get an All In is CM Punk. I'm pretty sure they're going to save him for All Out. But we, of course, will have to wait and see. Okay, and then let's get to some really, 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 really good stuff, though. We have more MJF and Adam Cole bonding. And MJF asks Cole, yo, why are you not wearing the shirt? And Cole claims, I just lost it. And then they're bickering, but then all of a sudden a bunch of girls walk past. MJF, though, who's single, he's like, that's 2 for each of them. But Cole says, I'm sorry, but I actually do really care about Britt. And then MJF's like, well, there's 4 more for Daddy. And then he walks off with the girls, and then Cole chats with the cameraman. And then he comes back, and Cole admits that he never lost the shirt, and he will put it on right now. And if Adam gets too picky, but I'm sorry, he'll only do it if Cole gets to pick the next activity. And Max is like, what's that? Cole whispers, he's like, what? And then it cuts to the both of them sitting on the couch playing AEW Fight Forever. Which, by the way, I am getting the gist of it. Again, if you didn't see my photos on my Instagram or my Twitter or where I posted last night on YouTube as well, my character, Demand, did, and I didn't realize this, if you beat any of the champions in just a regular singles match, you become the champion. So my character is world champion on AEW Fight Forever when I play it. I actually am really enjoying even more since I created my own wrestler, which is myself, but I called myself The Man. And of course, I have Cody Rhodes' 8-bit sound theme. Basically, it sounds like a Mario version of it. But Anyway, so they're playing it, and MJF is all cranky. He's like, I won't play games like some weepy virgin nerd, but Cole tells him on his character, tries to sell him on his character's stats, and they play a tag match against FTR. And then Max admits, this is kind of fun to play with a friend. And then Cole was like, you ever played a multiplayer game? And MJF's like, you need a friend for that. Cole, though, pauses the game and is like, look, let me be honest. When they were forced to be a team, he had every intention of blindsiding him. And then MJF was like, funny enough, I was going to do the same thing. And Cole's like, you know what, Max? You're pretty cool. And I mean that. And MJF's like, you're pretty cool too, Cole. And they pledge to win the tag titles together and do so in the video game. And I guess there's something, I forgot what move it is, double clothesline, I think it is. It's like their finisher, at their tag team finisher. But they're trying to believably make us believe that this tag team's working. Which, I mean, it is, the storytelling is working. And again, the stuff they're doing, like, it's reminding me, like, if Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho were given more leverage when they were a team in WWE, this is stuff I'd want to see them doing. This is the stuff I want to see them doing. And it's just working so well between these two. It's really elevating both of them, I think. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Of course, they have a match later on the show. We then have the first of the two semifinals matches. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy versus Jericho Appreciation Society, Daniel Garcia. So weird. And Sammy Guevara. The match was good. Again, I mean, I get that, the JAS one's not as random. But it is still playing on this idea that, again, Daniel Garcia is all in support of Jericho, although right now the status of Jericho in the JAS is very questionable. And then Sammy's getting like this vibe that, like, maybe Jericho's not, the person that he thought he once was. Of course, the dynamics are starting to get very confused, making it really wonder as all these are tying together, especially with the whole story of Don Callis trying to recruit Chris Jericho. But the match was still good, thanks to some interference from Swerve Strickland, which I'm not sure why he did that. Maybe just payback for last week. He blasts Darby Allin and helped JAS win as Sammy Guevara hit a GTH on Darby Allin. We then get a vignette of 18-year-old Nick Wayne, who is going to be making his AEW debut later on in the show against Swerve Strickland. We then have Renee Paquette trying to interview Adam Cole, who was on the phone. It sounded like he was on the phone with Britt. He hung up and apologized. And then Roderick Strong, who still has his neck brace on, he comes up and says, yo, are you really cool with MJF? And then Cole's like, yeah, MJF is a nice guy. And if you remember, you and I didn't like each other very much when they first met. But then you got a text from MJF saying he feels sick because he's getting ready for their tag match. And then he's like, I'm going to call him. And then he tells Roddy, I'll catch you later. I love you, man. And he's like, Max, you're not sick. And they go out and they have a match. They're calling themselves Better Than You, Bay Bay, versus the team of Brian Cage, the Ring of Honor 6-man champion, and Big Bill. And it's a really good match. And also, I'll say this too, this team with Big Bill and Brian Cage, keep them rolling, I'd say. Because the firm's not together. Okay, yes, you still have Brian Cage, part of like the Mogul Embassy, or whatever. Well, I know it's called Mogul Embassy since Swerve's involved with it now, which I also really love Swerve's song. I got to download that as well. But it'd be interesting to see what him and Big Bill could do together still. But anyways, Better Than You, Baby, win with the boom from Adam Cole on Brian Cage. Afterwards, they get on the microphone and hold Court in the Ring. MJ pulls the crowd on who's fans of either of them and tells Cole to talk to the Canucks. Cole tells them not to touch him, so much, and he says he never expected this team to work. But not only has it worked, but they're doing pretty damn good, don't you think? We may win the tournament. and we may actually win the tag titles, which, as I'm recording this, is going to be defended tonight on Collision. FTR versus Bullet Club Gold in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which I am going to check it out. I don't know if I'll review it. We'll have to wait and see, though. I may review it. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see, of course, what exactly happens. We could, in fact, be getting Adam Cole and MJF versus FTR, which would be interesting as hell for sure. Maybe that's where MJF turns on Adam Cole. It's going to happen at some point. They're probably going to fight at Allin, I'm thinking. We are then seeing Renee Paquette go to Chris Jericho's locker room, and Jake Hager goes past her and goes to talk to Chris. And he's like, what's going on with this Don Callis thing? Jericho's like, I don't know, but he's making good points, and he honestly needs some time to think about it. Hager then pulls off his stupid purple hat that I'm glad he's finally getting rid of. And he says, we have history. 10 years ago, you saved my life in Abu Dhabi. And 4 years ago, he gave up an undefeated MMA career just because Jericho asked to come and join the Inner Circle. And he gets it. They've got a lot going on. But until Chris can be straight with him, he can't give him 100. And he hands him the hat and leaves. Which, if that's a way just to write off that hat, thank God. I'm sorry, I can't stand the hat. Like, I'm okay with more so, like, serious Jake Hager. But like this, like, you know, joking, like, I love this hat, it's goofy. Like, it just still makes me think of Vince McMahon. And I keep saying this too. The JAS, just split them up. I just, again, if they want to put Jericho with Don Callis, cool, for something different. If they want to have, Sammy feud with Jericho, cool. I'll take that feud for All In or All Out. Daniel Garcia, I still think Daniel Garcia needs to go back to being a babyface also. Because again, he was probably the hottest when he beat Bryan in that 2 out of 3 falls match and that whole you're a wrestler storyline. That was, yes, it felt like they were pulling all that too soon, but I enjoyed it. I really liked that. And of course, Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, let them go. They're freaking jobbers. They're jobbers. I don't care about them. They've really not developed much from this feud. But, so we have that. Then we have the semifinals match with Ruby Soho and Sky Blue. The match was solid. Again, I think the reason why I didn't care about this as much as I felt I should have was because, once again, like I said, it's just so... It's so repetitive with the Outcasts, and it just feels like that they're just treading water and not getting anywhere with the storyline. Like, it's not advancing. It's not getting out of the gear. It's just the same thing every single week, I feel like. Surprisingly, though, Ruby won. I thought they would have given it to Sky Blue because they're really giving her a strong direction, and I think she's definitely the next upcoming star, but they may give it to Ruby. I believe she's going to be facing Willow Nightingale, who beat the Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena on Rampage last night. So they'll be fighting in the finals tonight on Collision, which again, I will check out. Though not going to guarantee a review, but I may review. So Ruby Soho wins, and afterwards the Outcasts celebrate together. We also have a QTV premiere of Harley Quinn's Harley Cameron's rapping, as she wanted to basically show that Anthony Bowens and the Acclaimed that she can rap. Which she succeeded. She was pretty good. The main event match we had was Swerve Strickland versus Nick Wayne. A good match. Nick Wayne's only 18 years old. You can tell he still has some work to do. Darby Allin was at ringside because Darby was good buddies with Nick Wade's father, Buddy Wade. Still put on a good performance. Eventually, though, Swerve beat him with the JML driver, and I don't know if that was a one-off for Nick Wayne, but we'll see where it goes there. And then, finally, the ending segment. So Don Callis came out, to announce the 5th member of the BCC at Blood and Guts. And he's so excited because this 5th member, along with the rest of the BCC, is going to slaughter the Elite and Kenny Omega. May God guide their hand. No one is more deserving of this abuse than Kenny, who is an ingrate, a coward, and a punk. Which then brings out Kenny Omega. But as Kenny's coming out, John Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita get between him and Callis, cause a distraction. And then you see somebody coming down the ramp in the background. They didn't cover it too much. And I'm like, that's not who I think it is it? And it was. It was Pac. For the first time, I think, since that best of 7 tournament for the Trios tag titles ended earlier this year, Pac came back and he starts attacking Kenny Omega with a chair. Pac then gets on the mic and says he has no idea how long he's been waiting for this since Kenny shattered his nose bone, which I guess that's why Pac was off TV since the Best of 7 series. And he says Omega will pay his price, and he is the 5th member for BCC's team. Okay. I mean, yeah, I get it. There is history. They had a series of good matches, including the 30-minute Iron Man match. I guess I'm just a little confused, though, as to where this is going to lead, though, with Jericho. Because I feel like they were teasing him, and then out of the blue, it's like they picked Pac, which, works based off the history. But I'm also sitting there thinking, too, well, then where does that leave Jericho, So I wasn't quite sure about that. And then they have Kenny ready to be horse-collared with a chair. And then Pac goes up top to hit the Black Arrow. And then Mox asks, do you have any other words? And then Kenny goes, we still have a 5th man, too. And the lights go out, and they show the graphic, and the rumors have been true. I don't know if this will be a one-off or if this is him officially coming in, but Kota Ibushi is indeed going to be at Blood and Guts, and he will be the 5th member for the Elite. And of course, the Golden Lovers then stand reunited. Well, there was no Kota this week, but then the Young Bucks and Hangman came out to save Kenny, and they clear the ring. Hangman says Wednesday they'll finish this once and for all, and Kenny says they're done but never out. And they're going to show them it's all about heart, passion, soul, friendship, and love. And then consumed by rage, they'll never prosper. And next week they'll find out the hard way that a little barbed wire is nothing compared to what they'll do. And when they're down and out, that's when he's going to be coming for you, Don Callis. So until then, goodbye and good night. It was basically the same thing as whenever they were doing the ending to All Out when both Adam Cole and then Bryan Danielson made their AEW debuts in 2021, which I will still say to this current day is AEW's best show for sure. All Out 2021. I'm hoping to God. I'm not hoping to God. Well, I have the hopes that hopefully All In will surpass that. But that's my review, guys, of AEW's Dynamite for this week. My final grade, give it the A-. Again, I'm still a little confused as to what's going on with Chris Jericho and Don Callis. Like, what's the point of him joining now since he's not the 5th member? But everything else, and of course the women's match with Sky Blue and Ruby Soho, it's like, hey, it's the same thing every single time with the Outcasts. But I'm glad that Ruby is getting a rub. We'll see if she does get the win against Willow tonight on Collision. And, of course, we will go from there. So, guys, I'll stick with my grade. Give it an A-. An A- to this week's episode of Dynamite. What are your guys' thoughts this week's episode of Dynamite? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter at @TheClubOfTheMan93. Make sure you guys also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at @TheClubOfTheMan1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for more SmackDown review also. And again, I will have my SummerSlam match card uploaded at some point today also. So I will hope we get some more uploads very soon. And hopefully very soon, in the next couple days, I can also get to the worst matches of all time 2023 edition. Very excited for all that, guys. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And don't forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.